All right, let's give this a try. I think I fixed that problem. Make sure that you comment below that that you can hear everything. I want to make sure that you are all here before we begin. As I was saying, we've got these great new stamp sets for our bingo event as prizes. So just wanted to let you know. Okay, so let me know. Let's see. Let's check away that everything is working. Yes, there we go. Okay, that's working. Is that volume better? Let me know. Thank you, Jane. Hi. Oh, Carol, thank you. The volume is good. Fantastic. I think I know what the problem was on that. So as I said, these are some bingo event prizes. So you don't want to miss that. That's going to be up in November. And this is our last week for... Oh! I saw the shark. Oh my goodness. I'm afraid to move my toes. Have you ever seen the movie Jaws? I think that frightened me for the rest of my life. And I feel like I am living the Jaws movie right now. Anyways, so I'm very excited. Mini catalog. I got some more of these mini catalogs in. If you live in Canada and would like a mini catalog, comment below and I will mail it out to you. I'm hitting the mailbox today, so items are going out. So I wanted to make sure that you got that. So next month, Takeaway Tuesday, we are doing heat embossing. Make sure you have your heating tool, Versamark, and stuff like that. For today, what you're going to need is, in the package, all that's left is Calypso Coral type card base and a basic white. You're going to need that. And of course, Joyful Flurry stamp set and the dies. We're going to be using some of these really cool dies on the cardstock. And I've got mine ready here. Hey, does anybody else do this? I had picked this, I made my husband pick this up from, what is it, Princess Auto. It's one of their, it's a tool or something like that. It's got huge magnets on the back. And it's metal, so it holds all of the dies. These are fantastic. Anybody else got one of these? Thumbs up. These are worth every penny, so they're about 13 bucks, worth it. So grab one of these. So we're going to use the dies from that. And I think, and of course, I've got Cajun Craze in case I feel like that. Calypso Coral to match the cardstock. And there's the cat wanting to go out. And different colors of stamps. Ink. I'm not sure what color I want. Crumb cake, Sahara sand, pale papaya. I'm not really sure what I'm feeling today. Okay, so have you got your inks? And have you got your items ready? Give me a thumbs up and we will get started. Okay, all right. I'm so excited. All right, so let's get going. Whoop. There we go. Okay. Put this up here. There we go. Look at that. Oh. I'm just going to turn off one of these lights because I think it's causing a problem. There we go. So, as I said, my name is Tina Kvergich, and I am Northern Stamper. If you have any questions, northernstamper@gmail.com. As I mentioned, Dice Night is this Thursday at 8 p.m. Don't forget the starter kit. You want to grab that. $206 worth of goodies. You know what? It is great. I found out if you got gifts, join up. Like, fantastic. You can get a ton of those little crafting kits and stuff for like a total steal. All right? So let's get started. We will definitely need our dies, so I'm going to be using some of the dies in here. I'm going to choose one of these, a couple of these, and we are going to need our stamp emboss machine. Okay, so let's put our card base aside. We do not need that at the moment. Okay, so we have our white. Carol's kit is arriving today. How exciting! I can't wait to see what you got in there. So we have our white card base, and if you lay it on top, you'll notice that there is a little edge around, kind of gives it a nice frame. Loves to see that little frame. So let's get our little stamp emboss machine out, okay? And get our plates. This is great for traveling. Love this little guy. But though, I gotta be honest, I love the bigger one better. Oh, and I think I'm going to need to grab the bigger one. Look at that, doesn't fit. So let's go grab the larger one. So sometimes that happens, huh? All right, so this is the large one. I love this guy. Love, love, love this one. So it fits in. Look at that, fits in perfect. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a couple of these dies. Now, they don't cut completely out like a shape, but they do provide a shape in the card itself. Some of these. And so this one, you can't quite tell, but in the middle, it is connected. So I'm going to do that and that. So I'm going to put these kind of like kitty corner to each other. All right, so this is going to be a portrait card up and down. And let's get this going. I'm going to want to make sure, we have to remember one of the spots, either the bottom or the top, you're going to be placing a sentiment. So I'm going to place the sentiment actually up here. So I got to make sure that I have enough room for a sentiment to go right about here. Okay, so I got my Stamp Emboss machine. I'm going to put it through, crank it through. Remember, this is like a little grilled cheese. And I am squishing that specialty cheese in between. And there it goes. I love this machine. Okay, so I have got it through. There we go. Let's move that machine away. And the plates. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take these off. And what you're going to notice is that the dies, they didn't cut completely out of the paper, but they did cut the paper. So what you're going to do is you're going to take your little tool or kind of bend the paper, and these are going to come up a little bit. All right, see how they're still all attached? We want to have that because it's going to give a bit of color underneath as we place the cardstock underneath. See that? Check that out. Isn't that fantastic? That is a really cool idea. Now, if you really want, and you want to stamp an extra one, an extra snowflake, and cut it out, you can always do that and put it on top. This was an extra from last week. Just wanted to show you. So I'm going to kind of pull these up a little bit. You can wait until you put it on the card. All right, so we got them cut out in the paper. What we're going to do now is we are going to stamp our sentiment, and I'm going to use the same color. Now this is Calypso Coral. If you want it a little darker, you can always use Cajun Craze. And I'm going to stamp my sentiment, and I want it up here in this top right corner. And Joyful Flurry's got this really beautiful sentiment that I think is going to work really, really nice. Joyful Wishes, it's going to look great. I think I'm going to pop it right there. So let's get that on a block. And actually, before I stamp, I'm going to stamp on this piece of paper to see which color I want to use. Now, the Cajun Craze is a little darker, and it's a little bit more kind of like a brown. But it kind of stands out. You can't see that. There we go. Lift up that paper. There we go. I'm going to use the Calypso Coral, but before I do that, I'm going to clean in between just to make sure that it doesn't muddy up the inks. Okay, so let's do that. And I'm going to test it out on this scrap paper. Okay, and I think I'm going to go for the Calypso Coral because it is not as brown in color. Okay, so I'm going to stamp that in the corner here. There we go. See, we have it stamped there in the corner, and you can see. And now what I'm going to do is I'm still going to use this Calypso Coral, but I'm going to leave it for a minute because what I want to do is I want to fill up with some other colors of snowflakes around. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to look in here, and I really like this one. So I'm going to use this, and I'm going to use an alternate color than the Calypso Coral. And let us choose what color we are going to do. What are we going to do? I'm going to take a look at the Sahara Sand just because It's kind of, I think it'd be a really cool color combination. Oh, I think I'm going to go with that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to stamp that up, and I'm going to add some of that around on the cardstock, but I'm going to leave a little bit of space for the smaller snowflakes. So I'm going to go around. Doesn't that look great? Like, check out that color coordination. Like the brown and the orange works really well. So I'm going to put that in there. So I have a little bit of the Sahara sand, okay, from this stamp set. Now I'm going to go back and use a smaller snowflake from the Joyful Flurry. Okay, so let's get that on a little block A. And I'm going to use that in the Calypso Coral and fill in some of those spots in between. There we go. Look at that. Now that's going to give a little bit of pop of color to the Sahara sand. Oh my gosh, that is really turning out really stunning. I'm so excited. Okay, now there is one little piece in here. See this one little piece? I don't know, the little dots? Let's add some of those in. And I'm going to test them out, maybe a crumb cake or a second generation of Sahara sand. But always, again, testing out on my paper. Always test out on paper so you can get an idea. So if I did 1 generation, 2 generation, 3 generation, I think I'm going to do that. I'm going to do a second generation. So stamp off and then kind of in between. There we go. Just a little bit here and there. Again, stamp off, a little bit here, a little bit there, and one more, stamp off. And is there another spot I can put it on? Just probably along the edge. There you go. It just adds a little bit of snowflake, and it's not as strong as this one snowflake here. Look at that. Oh my gosh, that is coming together. I got to tell you, every time I do a Tuesday, I always have my sample card ready. But the second card I do is always so much better. I got to tell you, it really is. All right, so I'll show you the first card, and then I'll show you them a little later. So I'm going to grab my ribbon, and I'm just going to put it around the middle or on the bottom. I think maybe I'll just put it on the bottom and tie it around the edge. So wherever you want to place it, just don't tape up that little snowflake that you've die cut out. So let's go on here. Make sure there's no tape on it. Wrap it around. Now I just grabbed whatever ribbon I had close at hand, and it is actually the Sahara sand type matching color. Okay, and we're going to make a little knot. There we go. There we go. Tie it off to the side. Boink. Just like that. And angle cut on that. Now, what we want to do is make sure that these guys are popped up. So let's get, I'm just going to have to use my nail on this. My Pick-a tool is a little further away. Bend these up a little bit, okay, by pressing down on the paper. And now we're going to add some dimensionals on the back. Okay, and we want to do that so that it will pop up on the card. So let's get some dimensionals. I don't like those little ones. And there we go. We're going to put some dimensionals on the back of this card. There we go. So that it gives some depth to the little snowflakes that we cut out. Good morning, Lori. I'm so glad you're able to join us today. Okay. Has everybody started getting their Christmas cards ready? Can't believe it. It is the last week of October, heading into November. Make sure you get all your Christmas cards mailed out by mid-November. Okay, and then we're going to pop that on our card base. Look at that. Let us add a little bit of Winka Stella, which I can't seem to do because that is also not here. And let's look at some gems that we can add into the center. Okay, I'm just going to grab whatever I have, and I'm going to take some of these gems and pop it into the center of those little two that I cut out. Okay, I just grab something and just pop it in. Oh my goodness, how ironic that these are little snowflake embellishments. Let's add those on here and there. There we go. There we go. Snowflakes. Soon, before you know it, it will be snowing. Terrible, terrible. I love the snow, but I think what I don't like is the shoveling. All right. So there we go. That is our last card for this month. I wanted to show you that the dies, how they cut out, they are quite cool, I think, and they do add quite a bit. So I wanted to show you my original card. So this is the card we made today, and this is the original. Not as nice, actually. I think the color of the card we made today is much better. So this one's going out. Love it. Anyways, so let me know how your card turns out. And don't forget, any questions, northernstamper@gmail.com. Next week, we are doing heat embossing. Watch for some great ideas I have coming up. And don't forget, see you on Thursday night for Dice Night in the VIP group. Gonna have lots of fun. It's one of my actual favorite activities to do because I participate and I step out of my comfort zone on that. Don't forget, starter kit ends. Join with me, have lots of fun. And in the meantime, I'll see you next time. Have a lovely, lovely day.